About a minute before 9 right now on this Sunday, November the 22nd, 49 degrees and kind of overcast outside. I'm Anthony Wilson.
I'm Caitlin Canute. You know, you hear 49 degrees and think, oh, it's not so bad for a low, but this is really about as warm as it's going to get today, right?
Not going to warm up much, maybe a degree or two, and that's about it.
Thank you, Steve. Some tough talk from President Obama this morning.
That's right, the commander-in-chief vowing to destroy ISIS. His comments came overnight.
Meanwhile, Russia's counterterrorism agency says it has raided the hideout of armed militants allied with the Islamic State group. 11 of them were killed. This all happened in a northern part of the region, which recently has become fertile ground for Islamic State propaganda and recruitment. Russia has intensified its airstrikes against ISIS in retaliation for the bombing of its passenger plane in Egypt. The U.S. Embassy in Belgium this morning is urging Americans in that country to stay indoors at home. This all comes as the threat alert for Brussels is now at its highest level. Authorities in Europe say they're searching for members of the Islamic State group who might be planning more terror attacks. No band members were harmed, but one touring staff member, Nick Alexander, was shot and killed. A similar scene in Raleigh. Security ramped up at Carter Finley Stadium yesterday. Before the game, nearly 60,000 State fans faced a team of security who had the terror attacks on their minds. Details of exactly which extra measures they were taking weren't divulged to the media, but NC State did tell us they had both additional law enforcement in and outside of the stadium. They say you can expect to see the same at next week's game. Secretary of State John Kerry is returning to the Middle East today. The State Department says he'll be discussing a range of political, security, and regional issues. Syria, the Islamic State group, and the Israeli-Palestinian violence will be topping his agenda. He's scheduled to depart for Abu Dhabi later today. The fire department also released some information about another house fire. This one happened on Outlook Drive in Fayetteville yesterday. We've learned that one was actually caused by unattended cooking. The Red Cross was called in to help that family of 5. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. And a story we're following that's developing in Fayetteville this morning. Police are still searching for a man they say impersonated a police officer and then sexually assaulted the daughter of a Fort Bragg soldier. Detectives say that assault happened on Wednesday evening on Bragg Boulevard. The victim told police she was stopped by a tan or gold car that she thought looked like an unmarked police car. She told police the suspect, then posing again as a police officer, made her get out of her car and forced her into the woods where he sexually assaulted her. Authorities are now searching for a man that looks like this. They say he's white. He was last seen clean-shaven, standing about 5'7" to 5'8". He's said to be in his late 20s to early 30s with a medium build. If you know anything about this man, please call the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command at Fort Bragg. And then my former stomping grounds, the Midwest, really got pounded with snow this weekend. The conditions residents are faced with now as the storm's finally moving out. Nothing like that here, at least, Steve.